Hello again, Ulf. Thank you for submitting your videos to fixyourgame.com. This is Brant Kasbaum speaking again. I do see some improvement from the previous videos with your posture, especially with your weight and balance. It does appear that your weight is more centered over your feet or over the middle part of your feet as opposed to being back on your heels. And I do see you're making a better rotation. You're not lifting the club up as much with your arms, and you don't come out of your posture. If you compare the videos that you sent in previously to these ones that you had just sent in, you can see that on the backswing, your head does not come up as much as it did. We still need to work on that, but I do see some significant improvement compared to the first videos. Don't get down on yourself, or don't be too hard on yourself. It is very difficult to make changes in anything, and it's very tough to learn new things, and this is especially true in the golf swing. So the way to get better is to just simply practice and repeat and focus on the drills and the changes that you need to make, and over time they will become ingrained. So today, or actually I'm going to back up just a second. I think the underlying condition in your golf swing is too much arms and not enough big muscles of the torso and the hips. And so in the first lesson we talked a lot about how too much arms can affect the backswing and put you in a bad position at the top of the swing. And then today we're going to talk more about how I see too much arm movement and not enough lower body on the downswing. And so again, that can definitely result in a lack of distance and also some inconsistent ball contact. And we can look here, and you can see the sample video again here on the right-hand side of the screen. I've paused it at this position, which is slightly before impact, and you can see both of our hands here are even with our hips. So the thing I want you to make note of here is how little your hips have rotated or opened up towards the target from the top of your swing. So if I go here and I back up to the top of your swing here, and as we move downward, you can see that your hips are sliding and not so much rotating. Okay, we want to, and then comparing that to this video over here at the same position where my arms are even with my hips are pointed out in this direction, whereas it looks as if your hips here are pointed more in this direction. And that also, in combination with an early release of the club, you can see that the angle here made by your arm and club is along this level, whereas you can see here the angle of my club is at this level. So I'm imposing more of a downward strike on the ball. This late release or the lag in the club helps to generate a tremendous amount of club head speed, and also helps to get a consistent strike, a consistent downward strike on the ball, which is an aggressive, leads to an aggressive ball flight with lots of spin, which is very good. You can see here your wrists are releasing. We've almost lost that angle completely, and so the early release is going to lead to a lot of inconsistent ball contact, a lot of balls hit fat, or a lot of balls that are pulled or hooked. So in combination, let me get rid of a couple of these lines here. So in the combination of a lot of arm movement and that early release are what are causing a lot of the inconsistency in your ball contact. So I want to focus on, on the downswing, you want to feel like you're firming up your right side and you're swinging up against that right side. So, and as you start the downswing, you want to feel like you're unwinding your hips, because you make a good rotation here. If we back up to the top of the swing, you can see here at the top of your swing, your hips are pointed in this direction. But as we start the downswing, we want to feel like our hips are unwinding and kind of firing our hips open towards our target, so that at impact, our hips are almost pointing towards our target. Most people don't have the flexibility, I know I don't, to have my hips all the way open at impact. That's a tremendous amount of flexibility that most of us don't have. So we want to feel like as we start that club down, we open our hips towards our target, so that at impact our hips are is pointed, it would be to the right of the ball or open or towards our target, whereas here I see your hips aren't quite as open. If I forward the swing here to the next frame, you can see here right before impact and then right after impact, my hips have opened up almost 100% or almost completely pointed towards the target, and you can see here your hips are kind of hanging back. So we want to feel like that we're firming up our right side and we're swinging up against that. If you look at some of the swings of the top tour players at impact, many of them their front leg is almost straight. They're straightening that up and creating, for lack of better terms, they're creating a wall or a firm right side, and they're swinging up against that in the swing. And you can see here this line from my initial posture that was outside of my foot at the start of my swing. You can see here at impact or just past impact, my front leg has firmed up and I've swung up against that. Whereas you can see here, there's some bend in the knee, and if we advance your swing even farther, you can see that just after impact, there's still a tremendous or a little bit of flex in that knee. So we want to feel like that front leg firms up, and that's our wall, and we're swinging up against that as we swing the club. And we do that by rotating our hips or opening up our hips as we swing forward and through. You can see here my front leg is straightened up, and I've swung up against that firm right side, as you can tell by this line here. And these lines were just outside of my feet at the top of my swing here, and I did the same for you. The line is just outside or just even with our toes here at the on each side there. So those are the things that I want you to work on today. On the downswing, you want to feel like we're swinging up against our firm right side, and to do that, but you want to do that by opening up your hips or firing your hips towards the target. That's going to help to control this late release as well. It's going to help to limit help you to swing that club using the large muscles of your torso and the lower body. And I see in the other video that you sent, you're swinging with that one arm drill. I really, really like that. That helps to feel the weight of the club and it makes it easier to swing that club using your torso and upper body. So again, that's the main thing from today's lesson. You want to feel like that you're swinging up against a firm right side, unwinding your hips or opening up your hips as you swing that club, and by doing so, the club will it'll help you to use that late release and help to get a downward strike or better impact. There are a couple drills that you can do. I like that one arm drill. Also, I'd like to swing a heavy club or a weighted club, or you can grab 2 or 3 clubs with both of your hands and feel that release of the club and feel it pull your weight forward. There's also a lot of good drills. I know you mentioned you're a follower of Gotham Golf Blog. I know Ralph has a number of good drills posted on his site of the rope drill. And that's a good feel to swing that club and feel the proper release, and that'll help avoid that early release. Again, if there's any questions, please email info@fixyourgame.com, and also be sure to check the written analysis that's along with this. We go into a little more detail on that, and if there's any questions, as always, please email me. Thanks, Ulf. Hope all is well, and have a great winter. Bye-bye.